Sandy live in Cheektowaga with their cat Apollo. They returned to Sandy's hometown of Buffalo in 2018 after living for 35 years in San Francisco. Andrew is from Chicago. He has an adult son in Orlando, Florida, who is an inventor and computer engineer. His other son recently passed. Andrew is a veteran of the U.S. Air Force and a member of the first Spiritualist temple since January 2019. In 1982, he was ordained in San Francisco's Church of Amron. He holds a Bachelor of Metaphysical Sciences degree from the University of Metaphysics in Sedona, Arizona, where he was ordained in the International Metaphysical Ministry. Andrew has worked in many different fields, and has experienced the highs and lows of life. He has been a writer and TV producer in major advertising agencies, where he rose to the level of creative director. He has been an actor, movie screenwriter, computer programmer, and corporate management consultant. He has taught meditation and self-esteem to San Quentin prison inmates. In 2002, he retired as the Director of Technical Training for the City and County of San Francisco. Then he founded the Southeast Sector Community Development Corporation in Bayview Hunters Point, the minority community of San Francisco. He created the functional forgiveness system to teach people how to access and apply the energy known as forgiveness. Last spring, he taught the functional forgiveness workshop here in our church. He also teaches a workshop called Working with Angels, which will be presented here in January. Please open your hearts and minds to the words and wisdom of Andrew Bozeman.
A man had 3 wishes. His first wish, he asked for a room without rent. His second wish was for food without having to cook. And his third wish was for people who would always look after him. Poof, he found himself in a prison cell. The title of my talk today is, If You Don't Want It, Don't Say It. Today we're living in a world where words are flying like crazy all around the planet. Technology makes it very, very easy for people who are separated by vast distances to communicate with each other. It's as easy as if they lived right next door. My wife Sandy is a member of a Twitter group that has members from Scotland and Germany and India and beyond, and they get into lively conversations every morning. As concepts, communication and expressing yourself are good things. But what I'm seeing around me in terms of expression is not so good. Hate speech is bombarding us all the time. Insults, and insults are flying back and forth between those who are vaccinated and those who are not vaccinated, or those who are conservative and those who are liberal, or those who are homosexual and those who are straight, or those who are young or those who are old, or those who are Christian or Jewish or Muslim and those who are not. Our society today is being labeled as cancel culture. One group wants to cancel out another group because they don't deserve to exist. You know, if all the cancellation requests were allowed to go into effect, the population of Earth would be wiped out. Except for a few who lived in the woods with the wolves. The spirit of meanness seems to permeate our society. But all these mean words being bandied about, it's very clear that most people don't understand the power of their words. Most don't seem to understand the mind-boggling truth of the warning in the New Testament of the Bible from the book of Matthew chapter 15, verse 11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth that defileth a man. It is not what goes into the mouth, but that which comes out that is the problem. Why is that? Why is that? Well, let's pick some fruits, some apples from the tree of knowledge and see what they have to say. Pick an apple here, and it says from the Old Testament book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue? They're not talking about our power to devour an ice cream cone with our tongues. Tongue is another word for speech, that which comes out of our mouth. Let's try another apple here. This is from the book of John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was God. But everybody already knows that God has the power of the Word, right? Big deal. Let's try another apple. This one's from the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that which I please. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. That must be God talking, right? Let's go back in time. Let's say about 20 minutes ago, when we repeated the NSAC Declaration of Principles. 1, we believe in infinite intelligence. 2, we believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. Now, we may not think much about it when we repeat those words, but the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, includes us. You, and you, and you, and me. We are all expressions of infinite intelligence. Each and every one of us is an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. And as expressions of infinite intelligence, we are imbued with the power of the Word. Remember in the statement, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God? Or death and life are in the power of the tongue? Or so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Yeah, each and every one of those statements refers to us. We, as individualized expressions of infinite intelligence, we are powerful beings. We have the power of word. We are not insignificant life forms shuffling around on an inconsequential rock floating around in space. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it is incumbent upon us to realize and understand not only how powerful we are, but the responsibility that comes with that power. So those syllables we spout off every day in conversations and declarations are not just words. They are expressions of power, of infinite intelligence in action. So what we're doing with that power? Good question. All too often I hear those expressions of power being uttered as negative declarations of power, not positive ones. Declarations like, people who vote for Donald Trump are deplorable. Joe Biden is an idiot. The police are racist murderers. I even hear negative declarations turned against the people who are speaking them. They call themselves names. I'm so stupid. I'm an idiot. I'm a loser. We make declarations about our situations. This place makes me sick. This job is killing me. I'm never going to get ahead. I'll never get that job. You know, the trouble with all these negative declarations is that in order to be sent out into the world, They have to come through us. They have to come through us first. We are just like the water pipes that deliver water to cities all over the country. Whatever goes through the pipe affects the people who drink the water. Think about the water pipes in the state of Michigan. They've been in the news lately. They're being corroded on the inside by the chemical action on the water. They are sending toxic water out into the faucets of the citizens. The citizens of Michigan are getting sick with lead poisoning and other heavy metals that are being leached from the pipes. The negative words we say have the same effect. But the trouble is, since we are the pipes through which those words are coming, they inflict damage upon us first. You see, all those words we say so freely are being recorded by our subconscious. And our subconscious acts upon us. Then our subconscious turns around and transmits those negative commands out into the vibratory universe. And then the vibratory universe accepts those commands and sends them right back to us. So, our subconscious, you think, you say to yourself, well, I was just kidding, I was just joking. But our subconscious doesn't know what a joke is. It doesn't know that we are joking. It takes everything on face value. It only records and transmits, records and transmits, records and transmits. So if we are feeding into our subconscious only negative declarations, then all it knows how to do is transmit that out into the universe as negative commands. And since the universe only knows to answer our commands, then it sends back all the negativity, raining it down on our lives on a regular basis. We are talking about spiritual law here. And as we learn more and more every day, spiritual law has a dramatic effect on physical life, physical reality. Every word you speak out into the universe comes back because it is a command. It's not a simple little set of words. It is a command. And because we have a tendency to spew out words haphazardly, I'll admit, the commands we throw out there every day, over and over and over again, don't have much power independently. That's because they flow out without focus or direction. They're just going out there. Some of them go out and then they cancel, the next statement cancels it. I want to be a millionaire. I could never be a millionaire. I want to have that car. Oh, I could never buy that car. So we throw it out, we cancel, we throw it out and cancel. But underneath that, there's a lot of negativity, and it's the repetition of that energy that begins to build power. Repetition builds power. Repetition accumulates powers. So those words repeated over and over again are like seeds being planted in the ground, and eventually they will develop to grow and yield the fruit of their likeness. Remember the words of Paul in the epistle of Galatians. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you have a habit of spewing out negativity and discord, then your life is going to yield negativity and discord. So I again caution, if you don't want it, don't say it. So what do you do instead? Well, first of all, it's a good idea to talk less. Remember, when you talk, you're speaking commands, you're sending out energy, and as you know, when you expend a lot of energy, it gets depleted. You run a race, you feel depleted. You clean the house, you're tired. You have sex, when you're finished, you're out of energy. The same with speaking. When you blast out too many words, your words run out of energy and therefore they lose power. So preserve your energy, build your power, talk less. Give your energy a chance to build up. Then when you speak, your words have greater power. And once you begin to understand that your words have power, use them for your benefit and for the benefit of those around you by sending out positive energy, positive words. And the underlying power of our words should rest on the knowledge that we can become spiritual warriors. Now, the term spiritual warrior is used in Tibetan Buddhism to identify one who combats the universal enemy, self-ignorance, the ultimate source of suffering. By understanding that you have the power of the word and that you have a choice to use it to benefit rather than harm is a good beginning to becoming a spiritual warrior. According to Adam Brady, who is a Vedic educator, he says, ignorance of the true nature of the world invokes countless forms of suffering. The spiritual warrior deliberately takes up the fight against this cunning foe called ignorance by choosing to bring light into the darkness. Remember, according to the Old Testament book of Proverbs, death and life are in the power of the tongue. We can use our power. We can use it to bring light to the world instead of feeding the darkness. We're individualized expressions of infinite intelligence, and as such, infinite intelligence gives us the power of the word. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, he says, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be open to you. If you add to that the instruction given in the book of Isaiah chapter 45, infinite intelligence says, command ye me. Command me, ye. We have power. Our words have power. And the first step to making your word more powerful is to be aware of what's behind your word. For instance, take the word, I am. I am. You know, in the Old Testament book of Exodus, in which Moses frees the people of Israel from Egypt, he's there talking to the burning bush, and he says, well, you know, when I come unto the children of Israel, and I say to them that the God of their fathers has sent me unto you, they're going to say, well, what's his name? What shall I tell them? And God said unto Moses, I am that. I am. Thus thou shalt say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. I am has sent me unto you. The name of God is I am. It was considered blasphemy to utter the name of God. People would get stoned for using it. But the old religions considered God as a separate being from the rest of us. We've evolved from that. We know differently. We know that God is infinite intelligence, and infinite intelligence is all there is, and everything that exists is an expression of infinite intelligence, including us. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. So what the Bible statement is telling us is that when we use the words, I am, then we are invoking the power of infinite intelligence from within ourselves. So again, I caution you, if you don't want it, don't say it. The words I am directly and immediately tap into the creative power of the universe. So whatever comes after those words is empowered because the speaker has called upon the power of infinite intelligence with those words, I am. Now some may discount what I just said because they say, well, I use I am all the time. Do you? Or do you use I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm busy. I'm is not I am. I'm is a contraction of I am. I am is the name of God. I am is a word of power. So, when you use the word I am, understand what you are doing. But, true, we do throw out a lot of words, and we do throw out a lot of language without knowing what's behind it. So there's another step to the process. It's called intention. Intention is when you use words on an everyday basis, but not as a throwaway phrase. Intention says, is a commitment to carrying out an action or actions in the future. Intentions involve mental activities such as planning, focus, forethought. Intention also involves the application of emotional energy and commitment. So when you add intention to the speaking of I am, then you become aware of what you're doing and you're saying, and it's no longer a throwaway phrase. It is now a tool that adds power to what you were saying. You know, actually intention is important in so many ways and so many things that have to do with power, both physical and spiritual. Intention is being conscious. Intention is paying attention. Intention is being focused. Intention is not being unconscious. We spend so much of our lives being unconscious, and it's incredible that more damage is not being done by our unconsciousness. But let's think about intention for a minute. People who work out, lifting weights, running, full body stuff, they know that intention is a critical part of that. Because if you lift a weight without paying attention to what you're doing, you are going to get hurt. Because you are putting some stress on your muscle and your muscle doesn't even know you're doing it. So it's going to be injured. You have to be attentive. You have to be focused when you're doing these exercises. Otherwise, you're not going to get any benefit. You're only going to get hurt by it. So let's try that. Let's try doing something with intention. I'd like for everybody to take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And now say with conviction, I am.
I am.
Relax a minute. Allow that energy to flow. And let us say again, I am.
I am.
Better. All right. So you are invoking the power within yourself, the spiritual power that is yours by birthright. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and you are ready to invoke your own power. So let's review. Your words have power by virtue of the fact that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Your words have greater power when you use the words I am to lead into it. And you amplify your power when you do it with attention because you are focused and committing your energy to that action. The next step is to be positive. Even though you're not necessarily aware of it, your mind and your body and your electromagnetic field, known as the aura, but science has proven that we generate an electromagnetic field around our bodies that goes out for several feet. When you go negative, your electronic field goes contracting. Negativity is contraction. Positivity is expansion. The universe thrives on an open sharing and exchange of energy. We call it love. So when people, animals, or plants, or anything that exists feels love, is fed love, there's a positive reaction. It expands. Plants grow better when they get love. Pets are more active when they get love. If you give it negative energy, it has a diminishing effect. Things dry up. And also, the people who exude negativity suffer from it as well because they show it physically. They show it in their sour demeanor. They show it in their dull, flat skin tones. They show it in poor health, reduced living energy. I remember I was once in the magical order many, many years ago. We practiced white magic, but there was one of us who practiced dark magic. And you could tell his skin started turning gray. He started losing weight. Negativity contracts. So repeating negatives can have a negative effect, whereas repeating positives can have a cumulative, expansive effect. So, What do? We should give ourselves positive energy, and we do it by saying positive things. We say it by positive things like, I am doing well, I'm having a good time. Or here's one from the book of The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shin. She says, I am doing wonderful work and I am being paid in a wonderful way. The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scoville Shin. She wrote that in 1925. I read it 30 years ago. But a couple of weeks ago, Reverend Ron Skoronsky and I were talking, and he said he had just picked up this book that he hadn't read in a while, and it was really something and I should do it. So I picked it up too. He's right, it's quite a book. The Game of Life and How to Play It. So phrases like those from the book said with intention and using the power phrase I am will eventually bring about positive energy, positive effects. Why? Because even if you don't believe it when you start saying it, what you're doing is you're training your subconscious. Because it doesn't know that that's not true. It only knows that you're saying positive things. So what does it do? It records it and it transmits it. It records it and it transmits it. And if you say it enough and enough and enough, you will eventually overflow the negative with the positive. It's like sticking a hose into an aquarium. And when you first do it, it just clouds up with all this stuff coming up. But if you keep the water running, eventually it's going to become clear. Your subconscious, always recording, always transmitting. And you can retrain your subconscious by saying positive things over and over and over again on a regular basis. The power of that is that as you change, as your subconscious change, your life experience is going to change because you're sending commands out to the universe and it is responding by sending back what you're calling for. Neville Goddard once said, you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And so changing your subconscious is critical. So final review. 1, your words have power by virtue of the fact that you're an individualized impression of infinite intelligence. 2, your words have greater power when you use the words I am with intention. Yes. Number 3, intention amplifies your power. And 4, stay positive. The positive of your commands accumulates, and begins to make changes in a positive way. Remember, your subconscious mind is always recording. It is always transmitting. So if you do not want it, do not say it. If you do not want it, do not say it. Your subconscious is the truth of who you are, and it's through your subconscious mind that the power of this very powerful verse from Isaiah works. And I say again, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that which I please. And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Remember, you have the power. The power is in your words.